Okay, so today I'm joined by Adam Fugitt, UFC fighter. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, how's it going, Gavin?
What was it like when you got this short notice call into the UFC?
Oh man, the first one, yeah, that was a bit of a kick. They were kind of telling me, my management was telling me that my name was getting tossed around. Stay ready, stay prepared. So I don't ever really leave the gym anyway. So I, I, I was ready. They gave me the 9 days notice, and it was I was just sitting here on my couch, just like I am now.
Yeah. So obviously you got Michael Morales, who's like a big prospect and still is. Do you see that as a
Yeah,
win-win fight? Because even if you did lose or win, like you're still in the UFC now.
right. Uh, Yeah, man. I was just prepared for anybody that they gave me.
Hmm.
It doesn't really matter. I just wanted my shot. I wanted my opportunity, and 9 days notice, 3 months training camp, whatever it was, I was going to take it no matter what. So I was more than thrilled to get that call, and it was just a real dream come true, and
Yeah.
prepared to get back in there February 4th and show everybody what I got again.
So like you were 33 when you made your debut, and there's not many 33-year-olds getting into UFC. Did you think
Correct.
your time had like kind of passed that you weren't going to get into it?
Um, prior to the fight at the beginning of the year in LFA, when all the pandemic stuff was
Hmm.
going on, I could definitely say that some of those thoughts were creeping in there. Maybe this wasn't meant to be. Maybe
Yeah.
what but that's a part of the game, right? It's always a mental battle before every fight, before anything. You just gotta keep the positive coming in, and don't let the negative jump up in the driver's seat and take hold for too long. Just continue to put in the daily work, and preparation meets opportunity, and that's kind of how I like to go about it.
Yeah. So when I was looking at your record, you started your amateur career at 26. It's kind
Mhm.
of strange to see a 26-year-old start your amateur career. Was there any big moment that made you decide to take an MMA career seriously?
So I'd wrestled 5 years. After that, I
Hmm.
did a couple of years of just grappling, and then merged in with the new gym, with the gym I'm at now. The grappling trainer did merge with them, and I walked in there, took my first Muay Thai class, and got thumped basically in
Hmm.
my first Muay Thai class. So I spent 3 years fighting amateur Muay Thai, really focusing in on my striking and stuff. And then when that road just kind of started coming to an end, and I had a crossroads, and that was either to go the route of being a supervisor at the mill job I had, or
Hmm.
take a hard right and try to make something work in MMA. That's the route I went. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did quick amateur fights, um, and went pro, and haven't looked back from there. So
Did you have any other career plans before starting MMA or just like odd jobs that whatever you got?
um, no, I tried 1 year of college, and that was just mainly to wrestle.
Hmm.
After that, is go find some work, go find a career. I had worked my way up at a mill, became a supervisor, was doing all right there. It was definitely a good career, if I would have chose to stay with it. But just nothing makes me feel whole like training and fighting does. So that's what I like to do. That's what makes me happy.
Yeah. Looking back, do you wish you started your career sooner, or do you think starting at a mature age helped?
I definitely wish that I mean, looking back in the past, I definitely wish I would have started a lot of things sooner. I wish I would have gotten to wrestling sooner. Um, for sure. And then I definitely wish that I wouldn't have just only competed in Muay Thai for those first 3 years. I wish I would have took some
Hmm.
more amateur fights and got my MMA career going a little bit quicker. That would have been definitely beneficial. But I mean, you can wish, and you can and try to think about all those things and get yourself depressed thinking about the
Yeah.
past, or you can just in the present and look towards the future.
So obviously the future you have a fight coming soon against Yusaka Kinoshita, and that was supposed to be in South Korea. Do you think that'll
Yes, it
help
was.
you now that it's not in South Korea that you want to travel as far?
Um, I was really excited to go over and be able to fight in front of the Korean fans,
Hmm.
and just that's another part of this sport that's great is the opportunities to travel and see new places, and I really like that. I also like to see what different fan bases are like, and see how you
Yeah.
know loud or rowdy the Korean fans can get, and so I was looking forward to that, but it got things happened and they got moved to the Apex. Um, it's a little closer to home. That's nice. It's far less travel time, and I think that that could help me out. That will help me out. But
Yeah.
more or less, I'm focused on my preparation. That's what's gonna help me with this fight. That's what's gonna get me the W. Is my
Yeah.
preparation and my practice.
So obviously he'll be making his debut, and he's 22, so it's kind of young. Do you think
Yes.
your age will help you as well, because he's going to be very young and like excited about the opportunity, and you've gone
Right.
through that already?
He was on the Contender Series, so
Yeah.
I'm saying he's already been on that stage. He's going to be even better this time for it, and so I'm not really looking at this as his debut. And he's 22, but he's 6-1, and I believe his one loss is a DQ. So I don't even take that into account. So he's a undefeated prospect for most part in my eyes.
Hmm.
He's going to be dangerous, but um, you know, I just I want to bet on myself. I always will bet on myself. I don't think there's anybody out there that I would not be able to step in the cage against and hold my own and take them into deep waters and finish and win against. So I have that much faith in myself for sure.
Hmm. You talk about deep waters there. He has a lot of first round finishes. Do you think the game
Yeah.
plan would be to bring him past the first round because he might be less effective then?
Hey, I'm always prepared to go the
Hmm.
distance. Always prepared to go the distance. But I myself I've gotten quite a few finishes.
Yeah.
I'm not really go the distance, so I just don't see any way that this fight does end up making it 3 full rounds. But I'm going in there to I want to get the knockout. I want to get the finish. That's the kind of fighter I am, and it looks like that's the kind of fighter he is.
Yeah.
So I expect some fireworks that night. There's got to be a winner. There's got to be a loser, and I'm going in there to win. That's for sure.
So obviously he's only fought outside of Asia once, which was the Contender Series, and the caliber of opponents doesn't match up to yours. Do you think you would be too like big of a step up for him?
Mm, no, I'm not going to underestimate him. I think
Hmm.
everything he's done up until this point has prepared him for me, and I'm looking at fighting the best Kinoshita that's stepped in there, and that's what I'm preparing for. That's what I expect, and um, you know, I hope he knows that I'm prepared to bring my best and be the best Adam Fugitt I can be. So
So if you were to win in February, how many more times do you want to get in the octagon this year?
I'm gonna be cliche. I want to get in there like 4 times this year.
Hmm.
I'm a little, like you said, I'm a little getting a little old. I'm a little late to the party, so I got some catching up to do.
Hmm.
What I love to do. I want to kind of expunge every bit of the experience that I can, and so 4 times this year would be awesome. That's the goal.
Are there any
To
like
get.
kind of locations that you'd want like as a dream location to fight?
I definitely want to cross the pond. I want to see what the fans over across the way can
Hmm.
be like. Be it London, or be it I'm even open to going to South Korea. Um, Another place that I'd like to fight is it would be Vegas, but I want to fight on a pay per view. I want to fight
Hmm.
when the fans are going to be there. Not that I'm upset with the Apex at all. That's it's going to be fun. I'm stoked for the Apex, but just to fight in Vegas or to fight in New York with fans, of it in attendance would be awesome.
Yeah. Would you ever want to have a event in Oregon where your
In
own
Oregon,
fans? Hmm.
they tried to do that. They did that one year up in Portland, and oh man, so many of the fans here in Oregon would be stoked if that happened. They always keep telling me, oh, it's too far to travel, or just let us know when you fight in Oregon again. So that would be cool to have one in Oregon, and to have all my family and friends come out, and for sure to support me. But I don't know if that'll happen again.
So where do you see yourself at the end of the year, like UFC wise?
I see myself ending this year on a 4-0 win streak, and looking at marching my way up the ladder and hopefully working myself into the top 15. That's what I want to
do. What advice would you give to someone who's contemplating starting an MMA career that's a bit older than, like, the young age that most people get into it?
My advice is, you gotta, it's a job, right? It's every day you got to show up to your work, and you got to put those daily tasks in. You got to do your footwork, you got to do your shadow boxing, you got to get your bag rounds in, you got to work on your guard passing, your technical stand-ups, your submission defenses. There's a lot of buckets in this sport that you have to fill, and you could try to do it every day, but most likely you're going to be able to you'll be hitting buckets every other day. You're not going to be able to train everything at once. So it's very important that you really micromanage your time, and just focus on putting in the right reps. Everybody wants to jump in the gym and spar and do all the fun things, and I think they overlook doing a lot of the dirty work, during the stuff that's not very fun, that's kind of monotonous, but those things you do the right work, the monotonous, boring stuff, it's going to show up in your sparring, it's going to show up in your rounds. And I think that you'll see yourself growing and getting better much quicker if you do the right things.
Do you think there's a cutoff point between when you can actually have a career?
If you got no martial arts experience whatsoever, and you're coming into me at 25 and you're saying you're going to make, a huge impact, I don't want to say never, but a lot of things are going to have to fall in the right spot for you. You're going to have some God-gift talent and be a very hard worker. And I think if you start too late, then you just, time beats everything,
Yeah. Like, was there a point, like, when you were, like, starting the amateur career, or even when you took your first loss, that you were kind of like, maybe I did start too late?
No, I just don't think I've ever thought about it like that. Even now, oh, you're going to be 34 this year and this and that. And I don't really put much stock in it. We see fighters going into their, late 30s now. I think people are learning how to take care of their bodies better, so yeah, I don't really put much stock in that yet.
So would you ever, you did a submission grappling thing with Nick Maximo. Would you ever do one of them again, seeing as though you lost it was on?
Yeah, I would. I definitely kicking myself for that one. I should have jumped back on the next one if they had something available. But yeah, I definitely should. I'd like to do that again. I do like jiu-jitsu. I do like grappling. It's definitely a part of my game. And if the opportunity ever presents itself, I'll definitely jump back in there.
Would you be? Are you one of those people that are kind of like caught up on, if you lose to a certain person, that you want to try and get that back, like seeing as though the Michael Morales loss, people try and get like one back?
If they presented that fight to me tomorrow, I would definitely be taking it again. Yes, for sure. I'm not caught up on it, but I also I'd like to rebound from that loss and get it back for sure. If it ever presents itself, you best believe I'll be putting my name to that paper, that I'll jump back in there.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do get caught up on certain defeats, especially like when you were only 1-0 when you lost to Austin Vanderford.
Mm-hmm.
Like it must be tough, like when at 26 or 27 when you lost, to like keep going. What was the main reason that you kept going?
Just I've had this dream of making it to the UFC, and yeah, there's just nothing that's going to stop me from doing it. And even I think that's what a lot of folks in our sport get caught up on, is they think they have to have these perfect, records. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying that doesn't help, but I've also seen a lot of people pad their records with guys that, they beat guys that have negative records. They padded, they got that undefeated record, and they hop in there and, you know, um, they find some holes in their game, and they
Yeah,
finally fill that first defeat. I've never, ran away from a fight. I don't plan on running away from a fight. There's not a person, like I said, that I don't feel like I couldn't get in there and compete against and beat. So if anything, fighting Austin Vanderford, um, fighting the guys like a couple of other losses I had, Kalen Hill and Michael Morales, fighting those guys, just all it did was fuel me and show me, like, I do belong and I can
mm,
make it, and I will.
yeah. Is there any like big moments in your life outside of fighting that kind of stand out to you?
Big moments, huh? Mm, like how so? Like something that's influenced my life?
Yeah, something like a story, like a lot of fighters have a reason why they fight outside of just the cause of wanting to fight.
Right. Um, I was just always a hyperactive kind of kid, kind of, just just a little bit off, I guess. And always loved to compete. I always loved sports. Was pretty athletic, and I found high school wrestling, and all that energy and stuff that other sports that wouldn't allow me to kind of get out because not being physical
Mm,
enough. I just found my sport, and that fighting wrestling definitely changed my life. And then my second year wrestling off for a varsity spot, I ended up um, you know getting my teeth shoved back in my mouth, and um, on a double leg. And I guess you could say, like, in that moment of having to go to the hospital and get my teeth fixed and everything, like, it just, I don't know, it kind of solidified the love of the sport that I had for it.
mhm.
Being in that kind of like trauma or traumatic event didn't deter me. I immediately wanted to be back out on the mats and wrestling the next day, and it just really kind of solidified that I had found what I like to do, and I've just ran with it ever since.
Yeah. Was there any fighters like growing up that you kind of idolized?
For sure. Man, I still have favorite fighters today,
Hmm.
and it's changed. GSP was definitely a big idol of mine. That's kind of a cliche answer, but he was one of he's the goat. He's one of the goats.
Hmm.
I think there's multiple goats in our sport, but GSP, just the way that he went about it, I love the way that he fights. There's fighters outside of mixed martial arts that I really look up to, like Yodson Clyde, the Muay Thai fighter. Just love his style of fighting. Um, you know, Marcelo Garcia in Jiu Jitsu. Back to MMA, like, they're gotta love Forrest Griffin, and
Hmm.
just I feel like I kind of embody that. We don't really look like fighters, but man, we can get in there and scrap with the
Yeah.
best of them, and beat some good people. And you know, I just, yeah, Forrest Griffin for sure definitely showed me, like, you don't have to fit into that traditional mold of what a fighter should look like, and um, you know, you don't have to be this ultra, crazy gifted athlete. You just got to go in there and you got to put in the work, and and put your best foot forward every day. And that's kind of how I go about my business.
Mm-hmm. So like you in your fights, you either get a finish or you get finished essentially. What like is there ever like a game plan, or is it just whatever happens?
I've definitely gotten better at trying to game plan for fights,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's worked out and sometimes it hasn't. So I think it's just my style. I like to push the pace. I like to be in my opponent's face and let them know, like, hey, I'm not going away, and you're gonna have to land, and try to make me go away. So
Mm-hmm. Do you think when you beat Solomon Renfro, that was kind of like the big like fight that you knew you had a chance of getting to UFC?
definitely, definitely after that W, that was definitely my moment. I could feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the back waiting to be called out for that fight, and they brought up the odds, and it was like 16 to 1 or something like that at one point. And to beat him, to go in there and beat him the way I did, I think that really like opened up some eyes and kind of
Mm-hmm.
solidified, like, okay, this guy's got it. He can do it. And yeah, after that moment, I just felt like that was my opportunity. And I definitely had some doubts, like it was going to pass me by at some points, but in the end, it's worked out for me. So I'm very happy about that.
That's my last question. So, thank you for doing the interview.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope
Yeah.
this helps you out, and look forward to having a conversation with you again.
All right, thanks. Bye.
All right.